Hey guys, so this is a follow-up to my all-time draft performance sheet. Uh, Basically what I want to do is take your draft score and use it to predict how many wins you should get. I entered every draft entry here, so Tony 2008, Tony every year, everyone every year, and then I entered their draft score and their wins total. And then what I did is I plotted it right here. For instance, you can see Rigotti in 2009. His entry is the easiest to pick out because it's the worst. So right here where my cursor is, his draft score along the bottom is negative 7.5. His wins total is 1. So I plotted all of those, and then you can do a regression if you took a stats class, or more generally just put in a trend line or line of best fit, which is this pink line. Basically, it's trying to predict how many wins you should have based on draft score, and as you can see, the line is a pretty good fit, especially in the upper area here. We have a lot of data points surrounding the line. Obviously, it's spread out, but you can tell that generally, as you get a higher draft score, you get more wins, and that is proven here. So, using the equation for the trend line or line of best fit, up here, as you see, y equals blah blah blah. You can plug in draft score to x, and then y will equal the number of wins you not should have had, the predicted amount of wins that this trend line would predict for you given the draft score that you had. So, for instance, let's go to someone else. Bajam. Bajam in 2008. This is actually a good example. Bajam had a draft score of 0.75. As you can see right here, the average is just slightly higher, 0.835. So, Bajam's draft was fairly average. You'd think that would lead to a fairly average amount of wins, but it did not. He had 9 wins, which is exceptional. But based on the trend line and the equation, Bajam's average draft should have produced an average wins total of 6.5. I only rounded to 1 decimal in all these, so that's not exact, but for all intents and purposes, that's what we can use. It's right. So yeah, Bajam way outperformed what his draft said he should have done, and there's some explanations for that. A, you could make a good trade during the regular season. B, you could do well with free agents and the waiver wire. And 2 more luck-based things you could have happen are A, a generous schedule, or B, injuries. Injuries are more towards the negative side, obviously, and all the other things could be the same way. You make a bad trade, not good at pickups, and tough schedule. So what you can do then is take the wins you had, subtract the wins that were predicted based on your draft score, and you can get sort of a performance metric, wins minus predicted wins. So if it's positive, you had more wins than the draft score says you should have. You can equate that to regular season performance, I would like to call it. Because obviously if your draft score says you should have 3 wins, and you in fact have 7 per se, you did something right in the regular season or got lucky somehow. So with all that, moving on, I've taken all these wins minus predicted win scores and I've averaged them. So here for each owner, you can see their average draft score, average wins, average expected wins, and their average actual wins minus expected, which is what we just talked about. I actually sorted these in order of who has done the best, and through 3 seasons, Polino has averaged 2.25 wins more than he should have. That's very impressive. You can see there's many more people in the negatives than positives. People you could actually predict, probably. Enco, who's been less active lately, with a negative score. People like Rigotti, Nick Clark, Sherman, and then the more active people, of course, are in the front. So, yeah, I'm going to get cut off.